Pay very close attention to what I'm about to tell you. There is a group of oils that many people consume every day without realizing the danger. They are cheap, found on practically every supermarket shelf, and may even seem harmless, but they hide a devastating detail. They accelerate the aging of your brain. And if you are already over 50 or 60 years old, the impact can be even more serious. Before I continue, I want you to tell me in the comments. Do you usually use cooking oil every day? If so, which one? Write it down below, because this may reveal whether you are at risk or not. And after you comment, don't forget to give this video a like so that more people receive this very important information. Now let's get straight to the point. Have you ever wondered why some people, even though they are active, start to experience memory lapses, difficulty concentrating, or even mental confusion as the years go by? Many times, the explanation lies not only in age, but in what goes into the frying pan. Certain oils, when heated, release inflammatory compounds that silently attack the brain. It's as if you were putting poison on your plate without realizing it. And don't be fooled, this isn't just a matter of calories or fat. The real problem lies in the oxidation and free radicals these oils produce inside the body. They inflame neurons, impair communication between nerve cells, and, over time, increase the risk of neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. But don't worry, it's not a reason to panic. It's a reason to become aware. And I'm going to show you exactly which oils these are and why you should think twice before using them. Stay with me until the end, because number 1 on this list is actually the most widely consumed oil in the world, and I bet it's already inside your home right now. Let's start with third place. I'm talking about corn oil. Many people believe it's a healthy option, but the truth is very different. Corn oil is highly processed, undergoes chemical refinement, and contains an extremely high amount of omega-6 fatty acids. The problem with excess omega-6 is that it disrupts the natural balance between omega-3 and omega-6 in the body. This imbalance acts like a trigger for chronic inflammation. Imagine small sparks that never go out inside your body. Over time, these sparks wear down the brain's defenses, increase oxidation, and damage memory. Studies show that diets rich in corn oil are associated with a higher risk of cognitive decline, especially in older adults. And there's more. When corn oil is heated during frying, it releases toxic aldehydes, substances linked to cellular damage and even premature aging of the arteries. It's no wonder that more and more researchers warn that this type of oil should be used with extreme caution. Want a practical detail? A simple dish fried in this oil can contain compounds that remain in the body for hours, silently inflaming the nervous system. Now imagine someone who consumes this every day. It's no surprise that so many elderly people suffer from memory lapses and difficulty reasoning. And the most curious part is that the industry continues to promote this oil as vegetable and light, as if it were harmless. But have you noticed that ultra-processed foods almost always contain corn or soybean oil? That's not a coincidence. These are cheap oils, but the real price is paid by your brain health. In just a moment, I'll reveal the second oil on the list, which is also hidden in many ready-made products and has probably already entered your home without you noticing. And believe me, the damage it causes to the brain can be even faster. If you were shocked by the risks of corn oil, get ready. The second oil on this list is even more insidious, because it hides in cakes, cookies, industrial breads, and even in foods you might consider healthy. I'm talking about canola oil. Many people believe that canola oil is a smart choice because it has a reputation for containing less saturated fat and even some omega-3. But the reality is that this oil, by the time it reaches your table, has already gone through such an intense refining process that most of its original nutrients are lost. What's left is a highly unstable liquid that oxidizes easily and triggers inflammation in the body. And here's the detail almost nobody talks about. Canola oil contains erucic acid, a substance that, in large amounts, was once linked to heart and brain problems in older studies. Today the levels are lower, but even so, when consumed continuously, it can still contribute to nervous system damage. Think about it. If your goal is to protect your memory, keep your concentration sharp, and reduce the risk of neurological diseases, the last thing you want is to ingest something that weakens your neurons. Canola oil, when used for frying or present in processed foods, releases toxic compounds that build up slowly. The result: more brain inflammation, a higher risk of cognitive failures, and a silent decline in mental performance. And that's not all. This oil, contrary to what many believe, is not natural. It goes through chemical refining stages that include solvents, high temperatures, and even agents to mask the unpleasant smell it would naturally have. In other words, what arrives in your kitchen is an artificial, highly processed product, far from the idea of a healthy oil. You might be wondering, but what about the canola oil that's said to be rich in omega-3? It's true that it contains a small fraction, but this omega-3 is extremely unstable and breaks down easily during refining or when heated. In the end, what could have been beneficial turns into yet another risk factor. And here's an important note. Regular consumption of canola oil has been linked in some studies to an increase in insulin resistance, which can directly affect brain health. That's because insulin resistance reduces the energy supply to neurons, leaving them more vulnerable to damage. In other words, using this oil every day can literally shut down your brain's energy little by little. Now, I want to take this moment to ask you for something simple but essential. If this content has already opened your eyes and you believe more people should know about it, share this video with a family member or a friend who uses a lot of oil in cooking. Sometimes a simple gesture like that can prevent years of suffering. And stay with me until the end, because the number one oil on this list is by far the most dangerous of all. It's so widely consumed that you've probably already used it today without realizing it. The number one most destructive oil for your brain. We've reached the number one spot on the list. The most widely consumed oil in the world and, at the same time, the most destructive for your brain and for your overall health. I'm talking about soybean oil. It's practically everywhere. Margarine, cookies, snacks, ready-made sauces, restaurant fryers, and even in foods that seem harmless but contain hidden doses of this oil. The industry loves it because it's cheap and easy to produce on a large scale, but for your body, it's a true silent enemy. The problem is not only the absurd amount of omega-6 it contains, but also the fact that much of this oil goes through hydrogenation processes. This means it can generate trans fats, which are known to directly attack the heart, the arteries, and most importantly, the brain. These fats alter the fluidity of cell membranes, hinder communication between neurons, and create a highly inflammatory environment inside the mind. And there's more. Recent studies have shown that excessive consumption of soybean oil can alter the expression of genes related to the brain, even affecting areas linked to mood and memory. In other words, using this oil every day not only increases the risk of dementia, but can also impact the way you think and feel. Think about it. How many times have you eaten something fried in soybean oil without even realizing it? Or bought a ready-made food product without imagining that the main ingredient was precisely this? This repeated consumption, day after day, year after year, slowly undermines your mental clarity until the signs appear. Memory lapses, lack of concentration, mental fatigue, and difficulty even with simple tasks. But here's the good news. By cutting out or drastically reducing this oil from your life, the positive effects can be felt in just a few weeks. The body is capable of regenerating itself when we provide the right nutrients. Replacing inflammatory oils with more stable and healthier options, such as extra virgin olive oil or coconut oil, can bring a surprising improvement in your brain energy. And before you think this is an exaggeration, remember, aging with mental clarity is not just a matter of luck, but of daily choices. If you continue eating oils that inflame your body, the risk of losing autonomy earlier increases significantly. But if you replace these choices with alternatives that nourish the brain, you put yourself on the path to independence, clarity, and a longer, healthier life. So now I want you to write in the comments, out of these 3 oils I've talked about here, which one do you consume the most in your daily life? Be honest, because acknowledging it is the first step to change. And if this video has helped open your eyes, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. This isn't just support for my work, it's an act of public health, because the more this knowledge spreads, the more people will be able to protect their brains and age with dignity. Remember, what you put on your plate today defines what your mind will be like tomorrow. Make the right choice.